made a video the other day about the Just Stop Oil protest blocking Waterloo Bridge and, incidentally, delaying an ambulance on a call-out. I concentrated on that occasion on the life-threatening effects of the self-righteous fanaticism of Just Stop Oil. But now I want to revisit that situation, this time to talk about the police. I'm Granniopteryx. So, as some of you will have already seen, I made a video the other day about the Just Stop Oil protesters blocking an ambulance on an emergency mission, and the mission was delayed, which meant that at the very least the patient they were trying to save would have been compromised, maybe permanently injured, if not actually killed. And my question was, should those Just Stop Oil fanatics be arrested, the whole lot of them, arrested and charged with attempted murder? I thought they should. Then I remembered something else. This was a couple of hours after I'd uploaded the video, and it suddenly struck me. Do you remember lockdown? Do you remember the thing the police kept saying during lockdown? Well, I'll refresh your memory in a minute. There's one particular incident I remember, but there are several of them. In fact, more than several. And I'll just give you one example. There was a particular case during lockdown when two women met to go for a walk. They were socially distancing, as the saying goes, and they'd got some coffee in their hands. They'd each brought a mug of coffee with them, or one of those covered mugs. And they were walking, and a team of police bullies railroaded them while they were walking, I don't know, through some, countryside or something. And they were accused, because they had coffee in their hands, of having a picnic, which at that time was considered, well, not acceptable. Now, I don't remember if the police actually shouted these words, but I'll put it up. Yeah, this side. Yeah, I'll put it up on this side, which was the message that they kept saying to all sorts of people. But I do know there was another occasion where a woman was walking through a park with a coffee cup in her hand. And again, she was set upon by police. She was actually arrested. The incident, I couldn't find it, you see. The incident was videoed by some other person, I think a man who was also walking through the park. And the police were whipping themselves up into a self-righteous frenzy, pushing the woman round and shouting at her that her infectious behaviour was going to kill Granny. Do you remember they were constantly talking about killing Granny? I don't know whether they said that to those two women, but certainly the police later apologised because they had overstepped the mark. But that didn't stop those women from being bullied and threatened. And obviously it would discourage them from going out for more walks because, whether the police apologised or not, they would have still had some fear that they were going to be pushed around again. But as I said, the police were constantly pushing people around in that way, later apologising, obviously, but they were doing it when they were doing it, and they were constantly shouting, "Don't kill Granny." Now, I have to point out, this was a generic Granny they were talking about. They weren't talking about me, and just to make that clear. I suppose we all remember that. Well, what I want to know is this. When there's an ambulance unable to get to its destination to save a life, and there are people lying in the path of that ambulance so the ambulance can't move, why aren't the police shouting about killing Granny now? I mean, it's far more obvious that if there happened to be Granny in that ambulance or at the point where the ambulance was going, then any delay would kill her. But the police were being remarkably reticent on that situation. They were just walking around among the cars, leaning through the windows and saying stuff like, well, we're sorry, but Just Stop Oil is there and we can't move them, or we're having trouble moving them, or we do move them and they come back, that sort of thing. But pushing around and shouting about killing Granny? No. That didn't seem to occur to them. So if there's any police officers, that officer is probably not the right description for most of those guys now. But anyway, if there are any people walking around in police uniform who happen to see this video, I would like to know, why aren't you shouting about killing Granny on Waterloo Bridge when there's an ambulance stuck there? I'm just interested. While I wait, I'll ask everyone else to thumbs up this video, also share it, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, click the bell so you get notifications. Also, in the description, there's further info about my other channels, where there are also links to donation sites. I'm always grateful for donations, but the best thing you can do for this video is to click like, get it moving around. Perhaps we'll get some sort of answer from the police. Ha! Right. Anyway, have they answered up to now? No, I don't see anything. The silence of the lambs. All right. I didn't really expect it anyway. Till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm, or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.